Teleschool. तालीम घर घर.
The blue quilt. Learning objectives. Guess the meaning of words and phrases by looking at the context. It was earlier than usual when she woke up. The light coming in from the window was the pale, soft yellow of a clear dawn, squeezing through narrow gaps in the bamboo blinds. Light looked green where it touched the bed, landing in rough shapes on the heavy blue bedcovers. Sahar curled up, cradled in a warm nest of feathers. It was so comfortable that she didn't want to get out of bed. She sighed in happiness. She had never slept so well in her life. We have a question for you. Look at the line highlighted in red. According to the text, what does the word cradled mean? A. Left alone in the open. B. A bed for a baby. C. Lined with feathers. D. Sheltered or held gently. Option D is correct. The word cradled comes from the verb cradle. It means to be sheltered or held gently. In the passage, the word cradled is used with an object. Sahar is sheltered or held gently in a warm nest of feathers. Let's go back to the passage. The new quilt was from Yasir Mamu. He had arrived from the city 2 days ago with a huge box of gifts for the children. For Sahar and Nayab, he bought a blue quilt embroidered with brightly colored thread. Red and blue stars fell in uneven lines from the top of the quilt, pooling thickly at the bottom. It looked like it was raining stars. She sighed again. It was one of the prettiest things she had ever owned. How about another question? Look at the lines highlighted in red. What does the word embroidered mean? A. Decorated with small pieces of paper. B. Decorated with patterns using needlework. C. Decorated with straight lines of paint. D. Decorated with leaves and flowers. Option B is correct. Embroidered cloth is normally decorated with patterns using needlework. The word embroidered is an adjective. It comes from the noun embroidery. Let's resume reading. Sahar felt movement behind her. She turned her head to look at her little sister, sleeping right next to her. Nayab was waking up, yawning widely. "How did you sleep?" whispered Sahar. She didn't want to wake her brothers, who were in the next room. The house was small and sound carried easily through the mud walls. "Wasn't it just so warm under the new quilt?" Nayab's head came out fully from under the covers. She shook the dark hair from her face, frowned. It was warm under our old quilt, too. You guessed it. We have another question. Look at the lines highlighted in red. What does the word whispered mean? A. Hear gossip or a rumor. B. Speak softly using the breath. C. Use the voice to comment loudly. D. Hear sounds through walls. Option B is correct. Whispered comes from the word whisper, which is a verb that means to speak softly using the breath. In the following sentence, the author explains that Sahar whispered because she didn't want to wake her brothers, who were in the next room. So, where were we on the passage? Sahar nodded. But this is extra nice because it's so pretty. Nayab stretched and the old quilt moved over both girls, letting in a small puff of cold air. Sahar shivered. What difference does that make? Both quilts are warm. Unlike her sister, Nayab wasn't impressed by bright colors and delicate handwork. I was happy with the old quilt. It was softer than this one, at least. It was only soft because it had been washed so many times. This will get soft too. Just wait. Nayab rolled her eyes. It isn't any warmer than the old quilt, you know. That's all in your head. Sahar opened her mouth to answer Nayab, then shut it again. She knew, from experience, that arguing with Nayab was a waste of time. The younger girl was stubborn and liked to argue. Last question. We promise. Read the lines highlighted in red. According to the text, why is arguing with Nayab a waste of time? A. Nayab is always wrong about everything. B. Nayab refuses to argue with anyone. C. Nayab enjoys arguing and never gives up. D. Nayab knows everything and is always right. Option C is correct. The correct answer is Nayab enjoys arguing and never gives up. Immediately after the sentence, we are told that Nayab is stubborn and likes arguing. That's it for today.
मिलते हैं एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद। चलें अब चलते हैं वापस अपने लेसन की तरफ।
Datajan, you have to come to my school on Saturday for our sports day. I've been practicing for the 400-meter race all year, and I'm finally ready for it.
I would love to come, beta. Where will your sports day be held?
In our school sports ground, Dadajan, I can give you directions. The fastest way is from the main road. However, I think the back street is a better way to go
Why is that?
because there are a lot of trees and pretty houses along that way. Also, the back street has a properly paved sidewalk all the way to school, which the main road doesn't.
Oh, I like trees, especially in the spring when the flowers are blooming. But isn't that a longer walk to school? Remember, dear, my bones are old. That is why I can't walk as far as I used to.
Oh, yes, indeed. I forgot. Well, perhaps you can use a vehicle of some sort. For example, Asif's bicycle.
Oof, a bicycle? At my age? I don't think so. Although I used to love cycling, maybe I can try it again.
Hold on, Dadajan. My sports day starts around 10 a.m. It will be pretty hot at 10 in the morning. With this in mind, it might be best to take the shortest way to school.
On the contrary, Sarah, it might be better to take the shady road.
Ah, I see. Take the road with trees so that the shade shelters you from the sun. Nice.
And therefore I will be pleasantly cool when I reach your school.
Sarah, have you been studying transitional words in school?
Yes, how did you know?
Because you have been using them like crazy. In almost every sentence, in fact.
What are transitional words, Asif?
A transitional word or device is a word or phrase that connects ideas, sentences, or paragraphs to each other.
What kinds of words or phrases are these?
Well, words or phrases like on the contrary or however are used to show a contrast between ideas. In this sentence, the first part tells us that peas are healthy. When you see the word however, you know that the idea that is coming next will contrast with the first one.
There are transitions that use time to connect ideas. I could tell you something happened. To move on to what happened next, I would use the transition afterwards. Or I could tell you what happened first, second, or last.
Or transitions that show how things are similar to or like each other. One of the words you and Sarah didn't use, by the way.
Too many transition words aren't good for you. They should be used where necessary only, like when you need to concede or accept a fact or idea.
Wait a minute, I think I am beginning to understand transition words. Words that add emphasis to a point are also transition words, aren't they?
Yes, and there are transitions that draw your attention to details.
Or words that guide us towards a result.
Phrases that follow with an example or sample.
Some transitions add to a previous point.
And some just make suggestions.
There are also phrases that bring you to the end.
What kind of transition is the word because?
A transition showing cause or one that takes us to an explanation.
Transition devices are almost like street signs, aren't they?
Ooh, clever, Dadajan. They're like signs that tell us where we are and where we're going.
And without them, we'd be unable to understand what people mean.
Right. A sign on the street tells us that we're coming from Street 24 and turning onto Main Avenue. In the same way, a transitional device tells us how two ideas are connected.
And now we've seen how they are used.
मिलते हैं एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद। चलें अब चलते हैं वापस अपने लेसन की तरफ।
Zara, the landlord just called. He said he didn't get the rent. Weren't you going to give it to him today?
Yeah, but...
But what? What happened?
Well, I put the rent money in my bag last night. But when I got to my office today, it wasn't there. I must have dropped it somewhere. Or maybe someone stole it. The bus was very crowded today. I have no idea where the money is.
What? Are you serious?
I'm afraid I am.
How could you be so careless? It was our hard-earned money, Zara.
I know, but...
I didn't expect this from you. You don't even realize how bad you've made things for us. It was already difficult to manage our monthly expenses with our limited salaries.
Please don't say that. I do realize that we don't have any extra money. And I feel ashamed. But it's not my fault. I put the envelope in my bag, and then it just disappeared.
Of course, it's your fault. You should own your mistakes instead of making up excuses.
It was my money too, Mahira.
Ugh, I'm so mad right now.
I understand this is a big problem, but I think you're overreacting.
Please stop. I am sick and tired of your irresponsible behavior. And you're just making it worse by saying that I'm overreacting?
Now you're just being unreasonable. I think your anger has gotten the best of you.
Oh, just leave me alone. I am too stressed for this conversation.
Fine, I'm going to my room. You can take all the time you need. We'll figure out what to do about the rent later.